A Boolean variable is one that contains a value of either true or false. A Boolean expression then is an equation that evaluates to true or false. A Boolean expression will always have two parts, one on each side of a Boolean operator. So let's take a look at this code here. I've dimmed a Boolean variable called myBool and set its value to true. Then I said myBool equals, and in parentheses here I have 2 equals 1 plus 2. Now think back to your first grade math. 2 equals 1 plus 2, is that true or false? Well, we know that's false. And I could have written it as 1 plus 2 equals 2. Either way, but we're evaluating the two sides of that equation or that expression to be either true or false. Then I have a message box that shows the value of myBool as a string, and then the title of myBool value, and here you can see the message box that comes up, that value is false. Well, let's try another one. 2 equals 1 plus 2 will always be false. We don't usually use hard-coded values in our expressions, at least not fully. Usually we're using a variable, or we're looking at data coming from the user or being read from a database and evaluating whether something is true or false. So here I've got 3 variables, a, b, and c, all as integers. And for now, we'll say a is 2, b is 3, and c is 5. And I realize this isn't really much different than hard-coding values, but let's suppose that maybe we're reading those 3 values, a, b, and c, from 3 text boxes. The expression here, though, with those values is myBool equals, and then the expression is c equals a plus b. So c, of course, is 5, a is 2, b is 3, so 5 equals 2 plus 3. And we know that to be true. So when we show the message box here of myBool.toString, what we see is a true value. Now I want to point one thing out, and that is we can convert the Boolean value to an integer. This is basically a binary expression, and in most languages 0 is false and anything other than 0 is true. Usually it's a positive 1. In Visual Basic, though, 0 is false and a true value is a negative 1. So here I have dim ABC as integer equals c int of myBool. Let's consider that myBool is still persisting from the previous expression where we looked at c equals a plus b. In the message box, I want to show ABC to string, and the title is myBool integer value. And what we would see there is a minus 1. Minus 1 being true. There are 6 Boolean operators in Visual Basic, and that's really true in most languages. These might vary a little bit in the languages, primarily on the is not equal to. But in Visual Basic, we have an equal sign, and that is the two sides are equal to each other. You might go on and learn other languages, or maybe you're coming from something like C#, where we use a double equal sign. So in VB, it's just a single equals. Then we have the less than symbol, so the side to the left is less than the side to the right. And then greater than, side to the left is greater than the side to the right. We have a less than or equal to, so it can be equal to it or it can be less than. And then a greater than or equal to. And then in Visual Basic, for the not equal operator, it is a less than greater than. So let's look at some expressions here that are true. 3 plus 5 equals 8. A is less than B if we consider A is 2 and B is 3 from our previous code. A times B, 2 times 3 would be 6, is greater than the value of C, which is 5. 6 is greater than 5. A plus B, 2 plus 3 is 5, is less than or equal to the value of C, which is 5. So it could be less than, it can be equal to. In this case, it's equal to. B squared, or 3 squared, of course, is 9, and that's greater than or equal to 9. And A times B, 2 times 3 is 6, is not equal to 5, which is the value of C. Let's look at the false expressions. 3 plus 4 equals 8. We know that to be false. It equals 7. B, the value of 3, is not less than A, which has the value of 2. A plus B, 2 plus 3 is 5. That is not greater than the value of 5, which is C. It's equal to. So 5 is not greater than 5. A times B, 6, is not less than or equal to 5, which is the value of C. B squared, 3 squared is 9, and that's not greater than or equal to 10. And then finally, A times B is 6, is not equal to C plus 1, 5 plus 1. 6 not equal to 6 is a false expression. We'll use these in conditional structures. We have several conditional structures in Visual Basic. There's the if-then, the if-then-else, the if-then-else-if-else, and the select case. And we'll look at those in the upcoming lessons. All of those will use conditional expressions. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Programming Practicum playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos I create, you can click my picture in the top right to subscribe to the channel.